Let's go to Chicago. Ann, welcome to the program. Ann, go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, you give Pelosi way too much credit by accusing her of Munchausen by proxy. At least Munchausen people, they think they love their child and are helping them. She's covering up for the fact that there are no jobs for these young people to get because of the Democrats. So she's giving them reason to stall and to putz around and not go for jobs and stay on mommy's or daddy's health care.
In other words, to find themselves, because all of them are great artists, as you well know. They're great artists and engineers. Well,
but it's
okay. It's, you know, by the way, let me tell you something. There are no jobs. And frankly, I don't know if anyone can create jobs. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. I'm not so sure, incidentally, and since we're having this discussion, that the pat phrase of let the free market determine and you'll encourage business and there'll be new jobs. I don't think there are jobs. I think there are too many people and too few jobs, and it's going to be like this forever, by the way.
Well, I'm willing.
Where is it? How do you just create jobs? Where are the jobs supposed to come from? I mean, I like to fault the Democrats as much as the next guy, but let me be honest with you. If you just go for the rubric of, let's free market will create jobs, I don't believe it. I don't think there are jobs. I don't think anybody can create jobs anymore. There are too many people chasing too few jobs in a society that doesn't have them. Where are they supposed to come from?
Scared companies away. Taxes scared companies away. There are jobs out there. But once these Democrats...
Well, that's the Rush Limbaugh free market theory of economics. I don't believe it, frankly. You know, I think we have to understand that America has gone to its apogee. And we're heading to the perigee. We're not in the perigee, but, I mean, we've seen the height. We're on the way down. We're on the way down. You know, if you look... I'm sorry to bum you out, but if you want to show that, you know, how to win friends and influence people with nothing but this malarkey that the Republicans are going to come in and they're going to encourage tax incentives and cut back taxes, and then the guy who owns the business is suddenly going to hire your child because he's encouraged, he's going to take every dime he can in his own pocket. That's all. And he's going to spend it on himself. He's not going to create a squat for you. What, are you kidding me? I know guys who own restaurants. They all bellyache when they raise their taxes like it's coming out of their pocket. They wouldn't create another job. They just cut their waiters' income. That's all. I mean, let's be realistic. The primary rule of American society is greed and looking out for number one. Now, let's stop with the pie in the sky nonsense that the Republicans have the answer. They have nothing. They had their answer for 8 years. What'd they do to us? They give us George Bush, socialism light. Let's go back. Now, take a deep breath because I know you didn't want to hear it. You want to hear the malarkey. You want to hear the malarkey. The malarkey. Free market is going to create jobs for your child. Yeah, they're going to create nothing for your child. That's all. Let's go back in time. Post-war America, post-World War II, or post-war Italy, for example. The country was wrecked in Italy after the war. And so consequently, in many European countries, until they rebuilt their societies, children lived at home. They had no health care from the government. They had no care at all. They got sick, they took care of themselves, or the family gave them something like a bowl of pasta fazool and told them to get their behind out of bed. You know, stop laying around like a malingerer. Stop making yourself sick. And either they got better or they got worse. If they got better, what are you, promised eternal life somewhere? An eternal job, Teddy? I'm talking to my dog. He's looking right at me. You promised a house in the suburbs? No, that's not good enough for the children until age 26. They don't want a house in the suburbs. They want a loft. They want a big apartment. They want a penthouse. They want a penthouse in the meatpacking district so they can be out until 4 o'clock in the morning and then come home and not go to work. They're entitled to it. They're entitled to that. They're entitled to health care. They're entitled to a job. Where did you read this? Where is this written? You know what you're entitled to in America? Freedom. And you're entitled to make the best you can out of your life. That's about it. It's a free country. Make of it what you can. No one owes you anything. Where's it written? They owe you a house? They owe you health care? They owe you nothing. What do you mean they owe you? Out of my pocket, I owe you? I owe you nothing. I'm sick of these deadbeats in my country. I'm sick of the millions of illegal aliens sponging off my hard work. I get sick when I see them in the hospitals. I get sick when I see them destroying our schools. It makes me ill. because I am the son of an immigrant, and I had to learn English to go to school. And let me tell you something. If you spoke another language, you know what happened? You fell behind because you were too stupid to keep dummies in the 5th grade who were 10, 12, 15. And guess what? It encouraged people to learn. They stumbled. They didn't do as well. They got D's instead of A's because they had a language problem, and eventually they learned English. Some went on to school and made something of themselves. Now you teach them in Spanish? English as a second language? Why? Why are you pandering to these people? How did this happen that in my city of San Francisco the ballot is in 8 to 10 languages? You mean you don't have the desire to learn the language of the land, but you have the desire to vote in Nancy Pelosi and the goon squad that runs this sick city? Why? Jury rigging, vote rigging, all the same. Just as you can fix a jury, you can fix a vote. The same thing. You can buy a vote. You can buy a jury. It makes no difference. All the same. And so I'm getting sick of looking at this. It's like a disease that keeps getting worse. You know, even an oncologist at some point must give up. When does an oncologist say, I've seen all the cancer I want to see? Are there any oncologists out there who've thrown the towel and said, I'm not cutting one more cancer out of anyone? I'm 52 years old. I'm 53. I'm quitting. I don't want to look at it anymore. I want to feed the seagulls. I don't want to look at this disease anymore. I want to raise poodles. I don't want to look at the social illness that government has created in this country. I want to raise poodles. I want to start a clinic for broken birds. I want to help sick children with my own money. I'm the most corrupt government in the history of America. When does a person say enough is enough? When do they throw in the towel? When do they walk away from it all? I ask myself every day. And I don't go into therapy. I don't need anyone to hold me up. I just ask the question. And I ask it every morning now because I've never seen anything as bad, and it's getting worse by the day. Worse and worse and worse and worse. And today I wake up, and all of a sudden the big whopper got bigger. The big whopper got bigger. There's Nancy Pelosi glowing about dependency until 26 in a home. Stay home, smoke dope, have a good time, and live on your parents' policies. Find yourself. And then there's the president, mumbling and stumbling about his Christianity. I couldn't believe that one. He as much as admitted that he was not born a Christian. He said he's a Christian by choice. He said, listen to clip 29, please.
You know, I'm a Christian by choice.
Let's stop right there. Hold it a minute. So he admitted he's not a Christian by birth. All this is going to do is fuel the birther controversy. What do you mean I'm a Christian by choice? So that means that he is not a Christian by birth. I'll be back.
Savage.
It's a rough day for me. I don't know what it is. I wake up, I don't know, look at the news. It's awful. I see these Democrats getting up again, like Pelosi, and boasting about Obamacare. Everyone hates it, except the deadbeats who are benefiting from it and those who are cashing in on it. The country is running from it and wants it overturned, and she's getting up there again screaming about how wonderful it is, like we didn't hear all of it. It's as though she didn't hear a thing. They didn't learn anything. Nothing. It's depressing. I never use the word. I don't even let the word into my lexicon. No amount of tofuti or coffee worked this afternoon to get me off the starting block. I don't know. It's like I tried a chocolate tofuti with a coffee. Normally that's rocket fuel for me. You know? I said, all right, if I do that, then I can't even have a drink tonight. Once I do the sugar, I can't touch a drink. I get sick. My metabolism is real weird. So I was going to go tonight and really just drink a lot and fake it. I would eat on the side to make believe I went to dinner, but it's really an excuse to get bombed and forget politics. I can't even do that now. I pity people who run around at night. I don't understand that. Like, after a hard day's work, you run around in the street in your underwear, basically in shorts. So a woman died in the heat. You're supposed to run in the heat like an idiot. supposed to stay in air conditioning. You got to be a lunatic to go run. Never go out and run in the heat. Don't exercise in the heat, lunatic. It's against the human. The human animal is not meant to run in the heat. You're not a cougar or a leopard. You're not on the plains of Africa. The normal thing is you stay home on a hot day, idiot. Only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun. And the schmucks are running. There they are, running, looking at the watch, running. How many catastrophic heart attacks in their 30s are coming from a heat wave with people who don't even understand their own bodies? Run. Remember when Jim Fix, the great runner, died in the 80s? That changed my life. That was it. I gave it up for good. I bicycle, not on a hot day. You do in the morning, you do at night. During the day, you hide in an air-conditioned building like your mother told you. Get a good job in an air-conditioned office, okay? Who ever heard of a middle-aged person running in 104-degree weather on blacktop? Of course you're going to get sick, I say to myself every day. More when I return.
Savage.
Ran out of the studio with the dog, like on the patio, till I get some air. I almost burned my hand on the door handle. It's like Mars out there. I almost burned my hand coming back into the studio. The dog ran in, and the pads of his feet almost burnt in the middle. Who the hell invented air conditioning? Who? A European American schmuck. That's who. It wasn't invented in the. Then I'll give me a revisionist history. Ask Louis Farrakhan where it was invented. Maybe it was invented by a man named Carrier gave us modern air conditioning. Have you heard the Carrier air conditioner? Yeah. Man named Carrier. Wasn't invented in the third world. Controlled humidity, controlled temperature. Remember back in the 50s when cars came around with air conditioning? They had like those ducts that came out of the top package shelf. You were so rich if you had like a Cadillac with those tubes that came up out of the back. I remember. It's a funny, I'm just drifting a little bit. It's too hot for me to even think. Even though it's air conditioning here, my mind is needs air. I need like an automatic air conditioner in my ear. My mind it doesn't want to work right now. I'm sick of this. Yeah, who invented it? It was Carrier. 1902, the first modern electrical air conditioning unit was invented by Willis Haviland Carrier in Buffalo, New York. After graduating from Cornell University, when it was still a great university, by the way, before it became a cauldron of women's studies, Carrier found a job at the Buffalo Forge Company. While there, Carrier began experimenting with air conditioning. This is in 1902 to solve an application problem for a lithographic and publishing company in Brooklyn, New York. And the first air conditioner designed and built in Buffalo by Carrier began working on July 17, 1902. This is unbelievable. Control temperature and humidity. Now, you could go back to ancient Persia, ancient Rome. They did cooling of walls with aqueduct water circulated through the walls of houses in the rich of ancient Rome. Medieval Persia involved the use of cisterns and wind towers to cool buildings during the hot season. But it was really the first large-scale electrical air conditioning invented and used in 1902 by Willis Haviland Carrier. Maybe you can modify your history books, give it a revisionist history, and prove it came out of sub-Saharan Africa in order to go along with the modern evolutionary theory that everybody derived from Africa. Where'd that come from? How did that come? Modern, everything's from Africa now. Everything's from Africa. Everything's African and from Africa. Let's start with the inventions of the evil white male. Virtually everything you're touching or doing or looking through was invented by the white male. Yeah, keep attacking the earth. I'm sick of this nonsense. We're like, you know what I feel like? I'm fighting my way out of a box of lies. The whole society is just riddled with liars and lies from top to bottom. Liars and lies wherever you turn. I never saw anything like it with one shyster fraud artist there for another. Reverend this, Reverend that. No one ever asked you where the hell they went to school. Reverend, they have him with the palm. Every time Reverend, he's on Fox News. They don't ask him where he got his divinity degree from. What do you mean Reverend? Why does he have a title? Where did he get it from? When did he get it? Gave it to himself? I can't believe the sanctimony here. Wait a minute, the king has no clothes. Who the hell is he? He's